But first out of the gate here on the WHAS11 night team, we've got rain on the lens of our live camera here. Look at the thunder. I mean, so you can see the lightning flashing out there, a lot of thunder as well. Chances are you may be getting heavy downpours and hearing thunder around your house. Overall tonight, Louisville dodged severe weather. No tornadoes reported anywhere, thankfully. Even the power outages are small right now, under 200 in Metro Louisville. Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us on the night team. I'm Doug Proffitt. So let's get the story on the overnight hours. Do we have anything to be concerned about? Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell has an eye on the storms, where they're located right now, and how much rain's coming down. Mallory.
Hey there, Doug. We still have some heavy rainfall producers across Kentucky tonight. And you can see that here on the Max HD radar. A lot of oranges and reds on this map. And really, today's severe weather threat transitioned over to a heavy rainfall threat pretty much right when the sun did set. Now, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning on this cell that's heading toward Bedford, Kentucky, also Carrollton as well. You can see as it merges with this rain that's down in LaGrange and Newcastle, it's losing some of that steam in terms of the strong wind. So it does look like they're not going to extend that severe thunderstorm warning that we did have in place. Now, we did still have some storms pack a punch, especially on the southern and eastern edges of the Louisville metro earlier. Mount Washington got a lot of heavy rainfall, Bullitt County in general over to Taylorsville. And what you're seeing here are storm reports for trees down, primarily wind damage, and a lot of that was tree damage. We still do have a severe thunderstorm watch for our far eastern counties until 1 a.m. Could see maybe a very isolated storm with those strong winds, but our hour-by-hour futurecast shows us continuing to push off to the east, primarily a heavy rainfall event. You're likely hearing quite a bit of thunder or seeing the lightning, but our severe weather threat does remain a lot lower overnight tonight, and really that rain coverage should continue to decrease as we head into the overnight hours with lows in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Now, as we start to dry things out tomorrow, more so Friday and into the weekend, we're really going to crank up the heat. I'll let you know when our heat index could be getting close to 100. That's coming up in our 7-day forecast. Doug.
All right, August coming to June. Thank you so much, Mallory. Okay, right now we do want to bring you up to date. The very latest as America could be hours, even a day away from some kind of involvement in the Israel and Iran conflict. For the sixth night in a row, aerial strikes continued between Israel and Iran. And now Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie has filed legislation to try to prevent President Donald Trump from getting the United States involved. The resolution, which was filed with Democratic Representative Ro Khanna, asserts that the requirement of congressional approval if Donald Trump wants to commit armed forces to military action in the region. The resolution already has the support of several Democrats, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has also indicated her support for the resolution. And tonight, with tensions at the breaking point, President Trump is once again convening his top national security officials. Intelligence sources telling ABC News he's weighing a major decision whether to launch a military strike against Iran's most protected nuclear site, which is buried deep beneath the mountain. ABC also reporting tonight he's agreed to the attack plans, but is waiting.
Tonight, sources familiar with classified assessments tell ABC News that President Trump is growing more comfortable with the idea of ordering a military strike on Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, a site dug nearly 300 feet into a mountainside. The president gathering his national security team twice in the last day. ABC News has learned the president has reviewed detailed strike options, telling senior advisors he supports the planning, but has not yet made the call.
I may do it, I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble.
This comes as Israel steps up its military campaign. The Israeli Defense Forces claiming responsibility for striking over 60 Iranian targets, including suspected nuclear research centers and weapons factories. President Trump has demanded Iran's unconditional surrender, but Iran's supreme leader is not backing down. The Ayatollah saying, surrender to what? The Iranian nation cannot be surrendered. We will not accept any kind of submission. He warned the U.S. would suffer irreparable consequences if it intervenes militarily. Warning sirens blaring across Israel again tonight as missiles were seen over the skies of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Anti-war protesters gathering outside the White House tonight.
My supporters are for me. My supporters are America first. They make America great again. My supporters don't want to see Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
This new conflict comes as Israel remains at war with Hamas in Palestine. Coming up a little later, we're going to bring you an update on a boy from Gaza who lost his leg after an explosion in his home there. The boy was brought right here to Louisville for recovery, but is now set to return home tomorrow. The fears of those who have helped him as he returns to that war-torn area. Happening right at 6:30 tonight, the big vote came in. The NIA Center in West Louisville will remain as a beloved business hub for West Louisville. It's called Black Wall Street by many residents. It comes after a contentious vote by the West End Opportunity Partnership. The board voted against a plan to spend $2.1 million to purchase the property in the Parkland neighborhood. Now, the proposal would have cleared the way for Goodwill and a co-developer to build 76 affordable housing units there on the site. 9 members of the board voted against the proposal, with 6 voting for it. The vote does not mean that the fight is over, though. Shawn Spencer, who rents space for her printing business at the NIA Center, said this will open the opportunity for somebody else to purchase the building, and she hopes that purchaser will preserve the building as it is. Right now, all news since 6, it's a battle over the sun's powerful rays once again in southern Indiana. We've seen this play out before. Tonight, a big solar farm got put on hold, the vote bringing a stalemate. But upset rural landowners made their voices heard as well. Once again, the controversy centers around making money by leasing the land or saving it for future generations. WHAS11 night team's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Levi Hammer covered the heated meeting.
A decision on whether solar farms will move forward within Clark County was ultimately pushed back again. Things got stormy inside the government center as locals who would be impacted by this project voiced their concern.
We can't eat solar panels. Secondly, studies show that the solar energy have considerable environmental drawbacks.
I have never been harmed by a solar panel. But to the contrary, I've been harmed by crop insecticides.
It was a heated public comment section during the Clark County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. The board's decision to vote on if Florida-based company Bright Night could move forward with their plan to lease farmland near Tunnel Mill Road and State Road 62.
There's not a situation where both of these factions are going to be satisfied.
Bright Night officials presented an updated plan on how much land would be leased, its economic boost through taxes, and how they plan to hide the farm from view by replanting trees. But many folks say it'll take away their beloved countryside view.
It's going to be 30 years before those solar panels will be hidden.
While others in the meeting wearing green shirts, like Sophia Skeens, who inherited farmland after her dad died, feels like leasing is the best financial option for her.
I'm not a farmer. I tried, I failed. I worked for some people who were there wearing red shirts today, but that's not my calling in life. So I rented out, and there's no good way to pay my bills, my property insurance and mortgage and stuff. Just letting it sit.
In the end,
all in favor of the motion presented, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
That's 2-2. Motion does not pass.
This effort meets a stalemate and leaves these Hoosiers in a heated debate.
Obviously, there is a lot of people who don't want this project to go. There's people who want it to go. So it's really sad that it's broken our community up, neighbor against neighbor, family against family. It's just kind of sad.
The future of solar power in Clark County hangs in limbo a month longer. Jose Alonso, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
Now, the board plans to continue reviewing this project and plans to take another vote coming up on July 16th. Public comment will not be part of that meeting. Several other solar farm proposals over the past few years have been defeated. A setback for transgender rights in the United States, with the Supreme Court upholding Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for minors. It was a 6-3 decision, with a conservative majority writing that the state's law does not violate the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. Like Tennessee, Kentucky has a similar ban in place, and advocates on both sides of the issue were watching this case very closely.
This was a historic victory for protecting kids.
It's been really clear from all medical associations that these are safe, that they are effective treatments for dysphoria.
The decision comes amid a slew of federal and state legislative efforts surrounding the lives of transgender people, including which sports competitions they can join and which bathrooms they can use. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear and the Kentucky Department of Education are now being sued by the U.S. Department of Justice. The DOJ claims Andy Beshear is allowing illegal aliens to receive in-state tuition in Kentucky against federal law. The administration regulation counts anyone who graduated from a Kentucky high school as an in-state resident, even if that person is an undocumented alien. The DOJ in their suit classifies this as unequal treatment of Americans and says it violates federal law because Americans who live out of state do not get the same tuition relief. In a statement, a spokesperson for Beshear's office said that they should not be part of the lawsuit, saying in part, under Kentucky law, the Council on Post-Secondary Education is independent, has sole authority to determine student residency requirements for the purposes of in-state tuition and controls its own regulations. The governor has no authority to alter CPE's regulations. At Louisville's Churchill Downs, horse racing trainers are on edge after an ICE raid at a southwest Louisiana racetrack. ICE agents raided the Delta Downs racetrack near Lake Charles after being tipped off 84 people were taken into custody during the raid, ICE saying all were unlawfully in this country. The Downs was in the middle of hosting a quarter horse race in Louisiana. That raid is being watched closely. A well-known thoroughbred trainer here in Louisville, Dale Romans, says it puts Kentucky's horse racing industries on edge.
So I've never felt the tension on the backside that we feel today. We're talking to as many politicians as possible to try to get a path to work visas. That's it. That's the only thing I know to do.
Roman says he's now talking with Churchill Downs to form a plan of action should ICE ever raid the local track. Peter Eckebert, an attorney with the National Horsemen's Benevolent and Protective Association, says they're urging every track nationwide to ensure ICE officers have an approved valid warrant if they show up on any properties.